My name's Chris and I repair my own audio equipment, and I also show you how to repair yours. So let's get started. Can a Nakamichi T-100 auto analyzer, one of the most sought after bench tools for testing analog tape decks, be replaced by a piece of inexpensive software? You're about to find out. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Before I give you a review on this T-100 simulation software, I want to go over just one piece of hardware that you guys are going to need. It's a USB powered interface that has 2 RCA inputs and 2 RCA outputs, and that's what you need to get the audio in and out of your tape deck and in and out of the computer. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about the one I've got. Here's the device I'm going to use to connect my iMac to my cassette deck. It's a U-Control UCA 2002. So you need something like this. You don't need this one. You just need something though that can connect your computer. In my case, it's an Apple machine, but you can use it with Windows also. The software's compatible with Windows, and so is this device, by the way. It's compatible with both Windows and with Macs, so you can use either one you want. And we're going to hook it up and see what it does. And two, it doesn't have to be a USB device. Any way that you guys have, maybe you've got little mini plugs going into your sound card on your computer that come out. As long as you've got some sort of an interface between the input and the output of your sound card to an interface that includes RCA jacks, you're ready to go. I've downloaded the software. It's called NAC T-100 Audio Analyzer from the Apple Store. I've hooked up the Nakamichi LX5. I've interfaced the Nakamichi LX5 with my Mac. I've got the cables all in her, and we're ready to give it a shot. The first thing you need to do is get into the documentation on this NAC 100 and look at the calibration level. It'll tell you how to adjust the calibration levels for the sound cards that you're using for your particular computer. They all vary. You're just going to have to go in there and read it and set it up for your particular situation. So what I'm going to try here is the total harmonic distortion test in this LX5. And I have a 400 Hertz level calibration tape that's used for this purpose. And if you look in the owner's manual of an LX5 in the back, it'll have a specification for total harmonic distortion. And in this deck's case, it's 0.9% at 400 Hertz at 0 dB. So we're going to give that a try and see, put it in the deck, see how this T-100 auto analyzer software works. And I've got it in there. I'm going to have to hit the play button, and then up here on the screen, the software here should read something, I think. So I'm just going to give it a try. I'm going to hit the play button. And she's started. We're at 0 dB. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm at 0 dB. You can see this line right here is the total harmonic distortion line. Let me get a little closer. It's running anywhere from 0.48 or so just to like 0.52. Down here, you can see the numbers changing, and right here has a little bar graph. So this looks pretty darn good. It's 0.5%. The spec is 0.9. So that's pretty good. And so on this test, I think this emulator is doing a pretty good job, because this is a similar number that I got on my ST1510A that you guys may recall that I use with tape decks. So I think that's working all right. Yeah, that looks like it's working here. What I showed earlier up above was using a calibrated test tape that I have to do the testing with this T-100 audio analyzer software. I realize a lot of you guys don't have one of these calibrated tapes. Now this software is capable of generating a test tone and then playing it back. Now in the Nakamichi LX5's case, it's a 3-head deck, so I can monitor the actual recording at the same time. So I can try to test this with a regular tape, a blank, well it's not blank, I say a blank tape, it's not blank. I've used this probably 100 times or maybe 1,000. So I think I've got it in there already, and I do. I'm going to use just a regular tape to do the test tone and just see how it performs with a regular tape that I'm going to generate within this deck. As I mentioned earlier, you really need to have a calibrated test tape, a known starting point. So this is going to be an unknown starting point. So let's just see what kind of numbers we get doing this. So in this tape's case, I'm going to have to record on it. So I'm going to put it into record pause. So I think we're all ready to go. And I think you'll be able to see up on the audio analyzer side here on the right hand side. Wait, that's the right hand side, isn't it? You should be able to see this running. So now I'm going to hit the play button. And we've started to record that 400 Hz test tone that's used with the total harmonic distortion test. The LX5 has a specification for total harmonic distortion of 0.9% at 400 Hz, and this happens to be a metal tape, so this is ZX tape. And as you can see, it's running about 0.5% distortion. It specs 0.9, and then we can go over here to the right channel. That was showing the left channel. And so I'll just on the knob here on the software, I'll go ahead and turn it to the right channel and we'll run it there. And it looks just about the same there. This T-100 auto analyzer software can also check your speed calibration of your tape deck. You use the function switch and you move it with your mouse and you put it down to speed calibration, and then it will generate a 3000 Hz tone and play it back. And you can see if your tape deck is accurate or not. Again, you've just got to keep in mind that if you don't have a calibration tape, don't think you can just take that tape and go over to another tape deck and use that as a reference. It's probably not going to be correct. So, but with that being said, look, this software, as you can see, it's got a lot of features. And I think for the average guy out there, 99% of you that are watching this is a software that is something for you to take a look at. The oscilloscope mode is a whole nother section of this software, and that allows you to check the frequency response of your cassette deck or your open reel deck with this software. So it's very similar to what I've shown you guys before with my Sound Technology ST1510A, which is a standalone test unit for tape decks that was state-of-the-art 40 years ago. But there was nothing available like this 40 years ago. But within this scope section, you're able to check frequency response sweeps, frequency response for pink noise, frequency response for white noise, spectrum. You've got an oscilloscope function. It'll do a lot of different stuff. So this software has a lot of different options, and the good thing about it is that it has real good documentation. There's a lot in there. It tells you how to connect the unit. It tells you how to calibrate the unit. It tells you how to use all the different features of the unit. There's a little bit of a learning curve here. It'll do quite a bit. You can just use your mouse to control the knobs, just like if you were using your fingers on a real T-100, and you can set it to the different functions. I showed you with the sweeps how the scope works and everything. Has an oscilloscope built into it. I didn't play with that much, so I don't want to spend a ton of time with this and take it feature for feature. If you're interested, purchase it, try it. It's 25 bucks. You can pretty much do everything with this that you could with a Nakamichi T-100 auto analyzer. Is it as good? I don't know. Maybe not, but it certainly for $25 is well worth it in my opinion. So there's a lot more to this software than what I showed. But I think I gave you all enough, if you're interested in this type of stuff, to go ahead and at least do some more research on your own about it. Now that you know about it, go out there, research it a little bit. If you think it's worth $25 to download it and play with it. There's a lot to it. And I think really it's a inexpensive way to both test and maintain your tape decks. So for me, it gets a big thumbs up. I think it's well worth the money, as I indicated earlier. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up down below. For you non-subscribers, I'd really appreciate a subscription. And for my present subscribers, as always, thank you so much. You all have a good day.